Hey guys, welcome back after a long time. So, in this video, I'll try to give a summary of what for someone who wants to learn Kizomba. I'll just walk you through the different variants of Kizomba. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. There's been lots of videos that I've put out, and one of my subscribers pointed out that it's all very confusing. Thanks to the simple man for that. If you're watching, thanks, dude. So I had a chat with him, and then he kind of asked me to do a video that would help someone who's newly learning Kizomba, right? And yeah, so if you're really interested, you can watch my earlier videos, but I'm just posting this video as a follow-up to those videos. So let's start with what you if you're newly learning Kizomba, you probably would have heard of the terms like urban kiss fusion, traditional Kizomba. That started these terms started to appear in the Kizomba scene somewhere around 2013-14, and after that. Before that, there was no such difference. There was just this term Kizomba, and people are predominantly dancing to gero zouk, a kind of music, and that's, I think, where the confusion started for someone who's newly getting into Kizomba. I hope this video would be of some help in trying to understand what Kizomba is and how it evolved in the last 15-20 years maybe. So let's watch. Miguel Montero is one of the most popular Kizomba dancers. He's from Portugal. I think, I'm not sure if he's from Lisbon, but he's from Portugal. And his partner is Susana, one of my favorite Kizomba dancers, lady dancers. Let's see what he says about Kizomba, right? It's a nice video. It's an important video. I hope it will help.
Hello people, so good afternoon. My name is Miguel Monteiro and I'm here to talk with you about some questions that you do on Miguel and Susana's followers page. We got a lot of questions and instead of answering one at a time, we decided to make a video talking about some of the questions because a lot of people have the same doubts. One of the biggest ones that we get on our fan page is like, what is traditional Kizomba? People of God, there is no such thing as traditional Kizomba. Let's think of dance as a mean of communication. When we dance social dance, we dance with a partner, we are communicating all the time. So that says that Kizomba, okay, here is Kizomba. Kizomba, it's a language, yeah? So to be able for you to understand each other, we have to talk the same language. If Kizomba is a language, let's compare Kizomba with a language. Let's compare with English. Kizomba is English. So if you talk Kizomba, you're talking English. The same thing about calling Kizomba traditional Kizomba is the same thing as going there and say that English is traditional English. Imagine slang. Calling traditional Kizomba to the Kizomba and calling Kizomba to a mixed Kizomba with fusions is the same thing as saying that the original English, the true English, is the English with slang. What's going to happen from now is that you're going to say that, okay, the English with slang, it's English. The English with no slang, it's traditional English. For example, I don't speak French, and my French, it sucks. I'm sorry, French people, but my French is really bad. So I can just go and say something in French that I know, that adds some Portuguese, And then I'm going to say, no, no, no. This is the new French. The old one is traditional French. Makes no sense for you, I think. It doesn't make any sense for me. So, bottom line, Kizomba, it's Kizomba. Okay? Kizomba is what's playing here. Okay? Now, this is one part of Kizomba. Yeah? It can be, it's Gerozuk music, okay? And this is nice too. It's inside the Kizomba umbrella, but a different style.
So this is exactly what I wanted to point out. So most of us who get introduced to Kizomba, they start off with thinking that Gerozuk is Kizomba, and you can't blame them, because it is the videos, YouTube videos are titled that way, and Gerozuk music falls under the traditional Kizomba umbrella, so it could be a bit confusing. But as Miguel points out, traditional Kizomba it sounds very different from the Gerozuk music. It lacks that sensuality and it's more playful. It has more of the Semba DNA than the Gerozuk DNA. So, but most of us who get into Kizomba only get to understand this later, after we start learning the dance and getting to know better about the music. So the confusion is fine. Like, but there are some things that I need to clarify as well. Music is, you can be very clear. It is once you understand the different music types, there's no more confusion. But dance, that's where it gets a bit more complicated. So to make it easy for us, I've just created this diagram here. So what happened earlier, I believe, like if you watch my earlier videos, I would have discussed two different styles of dancing, called one is Lisbon style and one is the Luandan style. This is again a derivative of that concept, but then from a much larger perspective. So just I'm trying to understand this. In the Palop countries, Kizomba, as we know, is basically it wouldn't exist if not for the Caribbean compa and other music that fall under the compa umbrella, like Zouk Love and whatnot. So compa and Zouk play a major role in the current Kizomba scene. Now, when compa was introduced to Africa, some countries embraced it, and I believe they created their own music genres like Kabbalah and other music styles like that are very close to the compa and zouk kind of music. But Angolans, they had like their own variant. The Angolans didn't completely embrace compa. Rather, they blended it nicely with another music genre called Semba that they already had. So basically, it retained more of the Semba DNA than the compa Zouk-Love DNA, and that is why we see these two different kinds of music that Miguel Montero points out. So the Kizomba music, this one here. So this Kizomba, it's a bit fast-paced, not as slow as the Gerozuk, and it has a more playful nature to it. Whereas the Gerozuk, it has a more sensual nature to it, and it's a bit slower. So most of us who who get introduced to Kizomba, we fall in love with Gerozuk predominantly. I would say at least 80 to 90%, because the traditional Kizomba music is not even marketed that much compared to Gerozuk, and Gerozuk has more of a mainstream appeal. So all of these reasons contribute to that. Yeah, so we are here right now. So what I wanted to point out is, so because of all these reasons, when Zuklau got introduced to the Palop countries in Africa, some of the countries like Cabo Verde, Guinea-Bissau, Sao Tome, and Mozambique, and other countries, they they added some of their native African music styles. I think they came up with the kind of music that resembles Gerozuk. Just remember it that way. And people were dancing Pasara from these countries. Predominantly, they were dancing Pasara. Now, I'm calling this a compa variant because if you watch the videos, right, you will understand what I mean. If you watch compa videos and then if you watch Pasara videos, there's not much of a difference. Whereas in the case of Angola, Angolans already had a much more advanced dance form called Samba, and since their music retained more of the Samba DNA, their dance also retained more of the Samba DNA. So that is why we see two different variants now. Now one I'm calling it the Samba variant, which I'm calling it Kizomba. Earlier I called this a Luandan style. It's the same thing now. Now the Pasada compa variant, I'm calling it Pasada. I earlier called it Lisbon style. So one important thing to notice here is, if you watch earlier videos like before 2013, the Pasara videos, right? If you watch Kwenda Lima's videos mainly, you won't see much of Saida. You would see the Saida, but how do I put this? They would do a 360 rather than breaking into a Saida. Like they do a full round. So what I believe could have happened is, so these different countries, they came together in Lisbon, and while these dancers from countries like Cape Verde and Guinea-Bissau, they were dancing their own style of Pasada, and Angolans were dancing their style of Pasada, which is Kizomba. They met, they had some kind of exchange. That's what Avalina Shashantre points out. So I believe Saida got introduced to Pasada to the dancers from other countries, from Angolan dancers, and some other moves. I think they must have exchanged a few moves, because Semba is a much more technically advanced dance, and then they adapted it to become the Kizomba, what we know now. And there was some kind of technical exchange, and then so that's how the Kizomba was born. So what we know Kizomba as of now is a little bit different from the Kizomba what we know earlier in like 2013 and before. Why? The reason is this. So when it got popular, it was the teachers like Wendelima on it was these teachers who were teaching predominantly. The Angolans were like there were not many first generation Kizomba teachers. So you would find more of a sensual type of kizomba, which I'm calling it pasada. Now, after 2013, when kizomba, the term kizomba got popular, Angolans started to come in, and then you would slowly see a transition towards the Angolan style of kizomba. I'll show you a few videos so that you will understand what I mean. And this is the reason that you will see different styles of kizomba now. I'm not including urban kiss and kiss fusion in this video because they kind of branched out into a completely different type of dance. So initially, before 2013, you would have seen a more like a compa-ish kizomba / pasada, and after 2013, you would start to see more of a semba-ish kizomba. Now, if you want to understand these two different variants, you can go through these dances videos. Although these dances they don't have the same kind of style because they are from different countries, so there could be influences from the native dances, slight influences, but they are all pasada. They are pasada from different Palop countries. And then if you watch these dancers videos, you will see more of a semba ish jinga. You can watch these videos, and also you will notice the saida that initially before 2013 it was more of a very close hold saida, more of a flamboyant saida, whereas post 2013 you would see like proper distance. There you will see the semba influence, and I will show you videos of these two dancers where the transition is evident, right? And few more things that I've noted while watching these videos. If you see in the early kizomba, you won't see many hooks and fishing and that sort, and usually it will be sensual and almost always dances to Gerozug music. And there's a lot of tokala. Tokala is a very typical kizomba move that is slowly dying these days. People are not dancing tokala. And post 2013, you would see is the kizomba becoming slowly not that sensual, and lots of hooks and fishing get introduced. Tokala slowly disappearing, and you would also see a noticeable change in the outfit. You would see people wearing more of a like Angolan style dressing outfit, and you can see the whole energy about the dance is a bit more playful rather than sensual, and also the choice of music would be a little bit towards the Angolan kizomba music. Not that the use of Gerozug would slowly start to fade. This is what I have observed over the years, and let's enough of the lecture, and let's well, so one thing I'll point out why I'm calling this a compa variant and why I'm calling this a semba variant is because this is all about sensuality. Compa is all about sensuality. Semba is all about playfulness. So the same thing is kind of what do you call that? You can see the sensual nature in the pasada before 2013 ish, and I believe it basically is the influence from Zuklau / compa. So if you want to broadly classify the available styles before 2013 and after 2013. I would call one a compa, heavily compa influenced style, and the other one a heavily samba influenced style. So let's start watching the videos now. So if you watch these two videos, why I've chosen these two is both these dancers, they are from Portugal, so they don't have either the Cabo Verdean or Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique influence, and they don't have either the Angolan influence when they started off, is what I'm trying to say. And you can see, if you watch Miguel Susana videos, you can see initially they would start off dancing Kizomba, more of the Passada compa variant style, and then slowly over the years you can see a transition in their style towards moving closer to the Samba variant style. I'll show you a few videos, you learn. And Ricardo and Paula, their style is more, what I've noticed based on what I've noticed, their style is more neutral. A perfect marriage between these two is what I've observed, but I'm still trying to figure out what their style is. Okay, so let's watch the video. This is from the early 2013, I guess. See the choice of music here. Before 2013, it was almost always Gerosuk. As you can see, it's a bit sensual, and you can see the Passada influence there. See there, this is sensual and slow moves, and the music is obviously Gerozuk. Now, see, I think this one, if you see,
creating is all about finding your rhythm.
The new generation
this is a more recent video.
7000 Miele induction cooktop offers
The last two videos, they were before 2013. And notice the choice of music here. It has changed to I don't know what music it is. I think it is Kizomba. But I think it's not Gerozuk. I could be wrong, but it doesn't sound like Gerozuk. And look at the change in the outfit here. See what Miguel is wearing. It's more of like this kind of fitting and this kind of shoes is an Angolan thing. I see, I think it's Tarashinia. It's a slight nuance, if you notice. There's not much of a difference in the moves itself, but the way they dance and the energy is slightly changed. And that's what I mean. So this happened when Angolans started to get into the Kizomba scene, and so the Portuguese, they had to adopt a more Angolan style because the Angolans are the majority, and there was some kind of the Angolans felt as if they were being what is the right word, the culture is being misrepresented or something, because Kizomba is an Angolan term, and it was mainly used by these teachers when they tried to market this dance after the exchange. So they should have chosen a word that was a common word for all of these countries, but instead of doing that, they chose a word Kizomba, which is completely Angolan, and this caused the confusion. Now, though Passara falls under the Kizomba umbrella, Angolans don't approve of it. So that is where the confusion started. So post 2013, the Angolans started to get in and then started to point out dancers who were dancing the Passada style, that is not actual Kizomba. You guys are cheating. It's not actual Kizomba. What we dance is actual Kizomba. And the Angolans, what were they dancing? They were dancing more of a semba. They were dancing basically semba, but to a slower music, because semba music is even more faster than the Kizomba music. Kizomba music itself is a little relatively faster than Gerozuk, but semba is even faster. And because they have that semba jinga, And these Pasara dances, they didn't have the Sembajinga at all. To Angolans, whoever danced the Pasara variant, they are not genuine Kizomba dances. And then Angola is a huge country. And because of this, even the dancers from Portugal, who earlier used a more Pasada approach, they had to adapt to a more Angolan style because of the what do you call that? Because of the anger and how can I put this? I think they just wanted to be accepted in a way, right? Because they are not Africans, and this information about Kizomba being an African, being an Angolan word, and then this kind of information started to float around post 2013. So naturally, anybody who goes and searches into Google and try to understand, they would obviously come to know that it is an Angolan dance. But if you go back a few years, that's not how it started off, because the first generation dancers, there were two first generation dancers who were involved in the Kizomba movement, and one is Pecho and one is Antonio Bandera. And even Antonio Bandera, if you see, he danced more of a Pasara style Kizomba. Pecho was not even into Kizomba at that time, but somehow, for some reason, these dancers were kind of forced to take a more Semba approach to Kizomba. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe because the Angolans are the majority and they are the most vocal about it. The Pasara dances, they don't make a lot of fuss about what is Kizomba and what is not. But the Angolan dancers do. Maybe because of the criticism and all that, they just wanted to be accepted. They adopted a more Semba style approach to the Kizomba. Another dancers that I'm a big fan of is Ricardo and Paula. And even them, you see, in the earlier days, they used to have a more of a Pasada approach. But I'm not saying they have moved on to a Semba-ish Jinga now, but I think they have remained neutral since the earlier days. Only thing that I notice of them is that they have also changed the way they dress now. They have started to wear more Angolan type of clothing and whatnot. And I don't see much of Tokala these days. These days, this move is not. I think it's being forgotten. And even even Ricardo and Paula, they have also started to dance to more of a Kizomba music now. I could be wrong, but the energy has. I have a feeling the energy has slightly changed with the way they dance. Let's watch some of their videos. So.
I've been obsessed with belts for a long time. I wear a belt every day. And there was like three things that always drove me crazy about belts. You have all
this was back in 2014. As you can see, there's a little bit of sensuality, and the music is ghetto zouk. Similar
Ladies and gentlemen, good vibes music. Come on. Welcome to the future. Are you ready?
See, starts off with the tokala. That's one move that I really like in Kizomba, because it's unique to Kizomba. Yeah, and it's beautiful to dance to.
Are you ready?
Dá mais uma volta. Vamos brincar de esconde-esconde até que tu me encontres. E procura com cuidado, porque se eu chutar mata, tens o jogo terminado. Tá pelo luna e repara atrás de ti se tem alguém bem disfarçado. Como eu, será eu? Eu não sei. Quem corre atrás de ti, hey, eu te peguei. Vou dar mais uma vez e quero tudo isso para estar aqui. Será que não vês? Procurei por todo lado e não te encontro em qualquer canto. Hey, eu te peguei. Vou dar mais uma vez e quero tudo isso para estar aqui. Será que não vês? Procurei por todo lado e não te encontro em qualquer canto. 1, 2, 3, já não quer saber. Onde eu vou esconder lixo, onde eu vou esconder. Corre, corre, fuge, fuge para te pegar. Ou pode se esconder na qualquer cão. Depois de mim é bom.
I see there's more of a passada approach to dance, and I'm not sure if I have a new video of them. Okay, this is a new video. See the choice of music now, it has changed. I think this is Kizomba music. And notice the change in the energy. You can see more of a playful energy in this. And see the distance, if you notice, like in the earlier videos, almost Paula almost always would be hugging Ricardo, like something like this, right? That you can see a close upper body connection, but then you can see a difference here. You see here, she starts off by hugging him. And she changes the posture.
pra me encostar na bolado, também conchito bons segredos. E taquitim, menina mansa, bom jeito natural, tem beleza. Na calém de madrugada.
See,
Sentivo
it has become a bit more playful now, not as it like.
encher devagar.
Now I'm not sure if it could be. You can argue that they are just adapting to the music that they are dancing to. That is true. I'm not denying that. That could also be the reason. Like I can't simply say just because they are dancing it like that, just because I found a video of them dancing like this to different music now, I can't say that they're dancing, the style itself has changed. I'm not saying that. It could be because of the music also.
Perdão, flor, perdão, querida. Nosso coração tá bem ligado.
But why I think that may not be the only reason is if you watch my earlier video where I would I would have walked through a paper that someone submitted as for the origins of Kizomba. You can see that the Angolans were not very happy with the way the earlier Kizomba students were trying to dance to. Like you can see a particular paragraph where the Angolans point out everybody is dancing like Albir now, and which kind of indirectly goes to prove that they were not. Maybe they were not happy, or maybe they didn't approve of his style. As I said, the Angolans don't consider Pasada as Kizomba at all. So, and most of these festivals, where the Kizomba festivals, they happen in Angola, and since Kizomba itself is an Angolan term, I think these dances slowly gravitated towards the Semba Jinga because they wanted to be accepted, and they wanted the approval of the Angolans, I think, because they have become the dominant force in the Kizomba scene now. I hope you get what I mean.
Mas vou tá gostar da aventura. Bem, se vou gostar minha maneira. Bem, mas vou tá gostar da aventura. Vou vida em doce romance, história de amor, sonho e doçura. Mexe, mexe, mexe.
But of the dancers that I've seen, Ricardo and Paula, one of those few dancers who have remained neutral in their style. Like they don't display much of Semba Jinga either, or they don't completely. They have had their own neutral style since the very beginning. I think that's what I come to understand so far, but I need to do more research on that. So yeah, so I hope this video made some sense to someone. Now if you want to talk about urban kids and kids fusion, that's a whole nother video, because even the Pasada dancers, they don't consider urban kids and kids fusion as Kizomba. No, see, yeah, it got a bit more complicated after I think 2013 to post that, when some dancers they started dancing to a more heavy version of Gero Zouk, like with heavy beats, and they kind of invented their own style of Kizomba. That's what we call as urban Kiz now. And Kiz fusion, I think they try to dance to any music now. If you try to dance Kizomba to any different music, I believe that's Kiz fusion. So I'm not a fan of either of those styles, at least as of now. I'm a fan of this compa variant. I want more teachers to teach this style of Kizomba, because the traditional Kizomba music is not something that I'm really fond of, and you can't actually try and dance this style of Kizomba to Gero Zouk. It doesn't fit the music, is my humble opinion. And but the teachers, the Angolan teachers, are trying to force people into listening more and more traditional Kizomba music. I don't think you can't force people into liking something, because if you see these festivals these days, right, they bring in lots of Semba dancers, and then they try to they kind of try to popularize this Kizomba, traditional Kizomba music, claiming that is real Kizomba, you know what I mean. And people who don't know the actual history behind it, as to whatever I explained in my earlier videos and in this video, they kind of believe it, and you can't blame them either, because there's some truth to it. Although I think people need to do their own research and then not blindly believe what's there on the internet, or what's being told to them, right? And I remember one of my teachers told me that, she had a friend and she went to Angola, and then realized that Kizomba is actually Angolan. And I asked her whether she visited Cape Verde anytime. Like, she said no. Then how can she claim? Like, if you've been to all the countries and then you claim that Kizomba is actually Angolan, that is proper researching. You can't just go to Angola and then say, oh, Kizomba is Angolan. Yeah. Yeah, that is stupidity. I'm not saying Kizomba is not Angolan, but Kizomba is not only Angolan. Kizomba is an umbrella term. It is equally Cabo Verdean as it is Angolan. It is equally Guinea-Bissau as it is Angolan. Maybe Angolans have like a 60-40 share when it comes to the technicalities of the dance, but when it comes to the music, the Cabo Verdeans almost have 80-20 share, and the music contributed to the popularity of the dance big time. Almost it contributed like 80% of the popularity of the dance, Kizomba dance, is because of Gero Zouk. And who were the Gero Zouk singers? They were Cabo Verdeans. They were Cabo Verdean immigrants in Netherlands, in Portugal, in Mica Mendes, Nelson Freitas, and Johnny Ramos. Who are all these people? They were all Cabo Verdeans, and this is probably who you got introduced to Kizomba with, right? If you listen to this music, like earlier Kizomba music, it would be one of these singers, or C. Quattro Pedro, although he's Angolan, but he doesn't do the traditional Kizomba music. His style of music is more Tarashini and whatnot. And Tarashini also, I think, is like it falls under the compa variant. It's basically guyad. It's a kind of, it's like Palopian guyad, I would say. Tarashini. What is Tarashini? It's all compa. If there's certain sensual aspect in your dance, it most probably is it came from compa / zouk. So yeah, I hope this video would be of some help to someone. Thanks, Simple Man, for pointing out, because earlier I was thinking a bit one directionally, and yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching this. Bye bye.